today we have a water heater replacement. This water heater was leaking from the bottom after about 6-7 years. So first you're going to turn off the gas, then you're going to go up and turn the water off. I turned it off before the video. Then you're going to want to hook up your hose. A garden hose works. You can watch my video. You can take your water line from your washer, hook it up to your water heater, drain it that way. Make sure you open up a faucet upstairs or somewhere on the line so it doesn't get airlocked. If it does, you can open the valve a little bit, give it a little rush of water, and that'll usually get it going. Alright, so I just loosened up the union there, and then I started disassembling the gas line. Sometimes you'll have to back up the wrenches if He-Man tightened them, but I was the He-Man that installed this water heater before, and I must not be hitting the gym because they weren't that tight. Alright, step 3, you're going to want to disconnect the dielectric unions on top of your water heater. Sometimes these can be a little tricky. They can be super tight, the bottom might spin. Like I said, I just installed this water heater probably 6 or 7 years ago, so these aren't exactly tight. And they don't need to be super tight, they just need to be snug. I will explain that later in the video. Alright, step 4, you want to remove the exhaust flue. Should be about 2 or 3 screws in each little section, depending on your water heater. I just had to take the whole thing off from the main part, because the new water heater is pretty much the exact same as this old one. So this is about as easy as it gets as far as a water heater installation. So I took a little clip of the bad water heater. You can see it's just completely rotted here at the bottom. And unfortunately I didn't take a video of us struggling to get the new one in there. But here we are starting up. Alright, so what you're going to do is reinstall the dielectric unions. So the dielectric unions come with a rubber gasket in the middle. You don't have to over tighten them, you just have to make sure they're snug. As you can see, I didn't really crank them down. That O-ring does a pretty good job. And if you do have a leak when you turn the water on, it'll be slow, so you can get back at it and tighten it down a little bit more. After that, we go into the gas piping. Sometimes it's tricky, sometimes it's not. The gas valve is in a different position on this tank from the first one. So what I had to do here is measure out and go get a couple different gas nipples. Keep your mind on the gutter, that's what they're called. So what I'm doing here is getting a measurement. You want to take, I think you can see, you can kind of see. It's about a 9-inch gap between the two fittings. And what you do is you add a 1/2 inch for the take up on each side. So I'm going to need a 10-inch gas nipple for this. And then I eyeballed the top fitting, and by the magic of YouTube, here is the 10-inch nipple. Always make sure you put some pipe dope on there. Gives the threads a nice seal and some lubrication to tighten. And it's not all perfect. I've seen some TikToks out there, people doing, it looks all pretty, they got tape and piped up. Unnecessary. But yeah, here we are, we just line it up, measure it out. Putting a union on here. Line it up, tank's empty, so it makes it a little easier. And you can't see me connect the union, but I did. Oh, here you go. Look at that, nice and straight and pretty. Alright, so I was trying to get this, we put a pan in because we didn't want to have it leaking like the other one did. I will have to come back and put an elbow in there so that's in the drain a little better. These pans are great for second floors. You can pipe them all the way into the floor drains, so you don't have to worry if the tank were to ever open up. And lucky number 7. Reinstall that flue pipe. Like I said, this was super straightforward, easy water heater install. Didn't have to change any of the piping. It wasn't that old, it wasn't rusty. Just screw it back in. And here we go, a little preview. Turning the water back on. Supposed to do it slowly, but the valve is a little stuck and slammed it open there. Alright, now that that's open, we'll go down and turn the gas back on. Pretty straightforward here. See all the connections. The one thing I do have to install is the pressure release valve copper. I didn't get a video of that. Alright, so last and final step. Lighten the pilot. So what you're going to do here is turn the knob to pilot, push it in, and then click the igniter. Eventually you'll see the light flash letting you know the thermocouple is sensing the flame, and then you can turn the valve up to your temperature setting. Factory setting for most of them is A. It's not a number, and that's usually where they come at. And it won't be too scalding hot. All you crazy people who like their steaming hot showers might want to bump it up a little bit, but be careful. Definitely check before you crank it up and get in there. But as you can see, the light flashed blue there, letting me know that there was connectivity between the thermocouple and the fire, and then you can just turn your knob to your temperature setting. And there we go, all completed, looking all pretty, good for another 7 to 10 years. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.